Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. There's another paid request, this time for Jay. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos or topics, reactions, reviews, or whatever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now, this is for a film that I've seen before. It's called Green Room from 2015. Some say 2016. Stars Anton Yelchin. May he rest in peace. He was in the Fright Night remake. He was in the new, well, not new anymore, but the later Star Trek films with J.J. Abrams as Chekhov. Passed away very unfortunately in like a freak accident. Something about changing the tire or something in the car. I forget the details. It's just very sad. You also have Imogen Poots, who I believe also worked with him on the Fright Night remake. Pretty much, you have this punk band, about 4 members, and they kind of don't know what to do in life, and they're just drifting from place to place with no direction, no control on their lives, it seems. And they get a job, a gig, which you come to find out is a neo-Nazi skinhead bar. And they decide not to play this racist song, so they're playing their song, and the skinheads, they still go along with it, and they're dancing and bumping into each other. As they get ready to leave, someone's missing their cell phone, so Anton Yelchin tries to get it, but he sees a woman that's been killed. They get caught, they get put into this green room, and then the skinheads figure out what to do next. And they contact their boss, played by Patrick Stewart. Speaking of Star Trek. And then pretty much it's a survival story. I don't hate the film, but this is a film that I don't know why I can't get into it as much as other people. Even watching it again, I'm like, it's not a bad film. Anton Yelchin, I do think he had talent. Sadly, taken away way too soon. It has some nice cinematography. It's at least attempting to have the characters try to react in as much of a realistic way as possible, where the skinheads try to have the control of the situation. They do this because they can't have witnesses, but at the same time, like for example, Anton Yelchin got called the cops. Okay, well we gotta get 2 people, one's gonna stab the other, and you stick with the story. While the lead characters, the punk band, they may do kind of dumb things, but at the same time, the way it's portrayed, you get it's more about they're just scared of the situation, and people do stupid things when they're scared. So it's not like Halloween Kills in terms of stupidity, or Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022 in terms of really stupid characters. It doesn't have some stupid out-of-the-blue ending, and it has very brutal visual gore. There's one person that gets shot in the face. There's some people that get killed with dogs, or people get stabbed without any remorse. People get shot in the head. At times, some pretty good, like, squib. I don't know what you put, like, one person gets shot in the head and you see blood spurting. It's like, wow, that looks rather good and brutal. So I can see why a lot of people like the film. If you're into survival stories, it's worth a watch. It's just for some reason, I don't know why this never gelled with me to the point that I love it. I mean, I'm a sucker for survival movies. I love the original Assault on Precinct 13. I love Judgment Night. I don't know why. For some reason, this reminds me a bit of Judgment Night, and I like Judgment Night more with Emilio Estevez and Cuba Gooding Jr., Dennis Leary's your villain. And although Judgment Night does not have the violence of this movie, that one I just found much more satisfying and entertaining. Well, I guess you say this is not meant to be entertaining. It's meant to be like a horror movie, but it just Judgment Night just found much more of a satisfying watch. I was because I got more into the characters. I felt more intimidation from Dennis Leary's character. While Patrick Stewart, it's cool to see him play a different role. I know there are people that say they were scared of him. I wasn't. Patrick Stewart just seemed old. I get that he's cold, calculating, but at the same time, part of me wonders if it would have been better with a different actor like Michael Ironside. Like if you had a Michael Ironside, or if you had a Clancy Brown, or if you had... Yeah, I know that would seem more typical other than Patrick Stewart, but just... I don't know, Patrick Stewart just... I didn't feel... I wasn't scared or intimidated by Patrick Stewart. I know people will disagree with me on that. That's fine. That's how I see it. I think also with the characters is that I never really got into the characters. I never really cared about these characters. So maybe that's another thing too. I didn't care if they lived or died. Even Anton Yelchin's character, I mean, you don't really know much about him other than they're in this punk band, and they have this thing where they talk about name your desert island band. Or one guy's like, there's something I never told you. Then he farts. Oh, was that real? But I never really got much of a give a shit this. And also the way they play the role, where they're kind of very mundane and very, mundane in their voices, and I really didn't get much personality or much anything out of the performances. It's not that they were bad, it's just, well, okay, when I think of Judgment Night, people, why you keep comparing the two? Because that's another survival movie that I think is underrated. And how I feel about Judgment Night is how people feel about this. I liked Emilio Estevez's character. I got into Stephen Dorff's character and his relationship with Emilio, and how it's not the best of terms, and Cuba Gooding Jr.'s more gun-ho type of character who gets into situations believing he's a badass, but he may be a bit over in his head, but at the same time he kind of means well. And Jeremy Piven's character, who tries to buy his way out of situations, and he's freaking out more than the others. Like I said, I got more personality, more energy, just more out of them that made me like and root for them. Here, it's more I'm rooting for them because of the situation at hand, of how dire and brutal it is, not so much the dialogue or, like I said, the performances or the energy that the characters brought to the story. Imogen Poots, who is there and kind of joins our lead characters, I don't like her as an actress. I don't think she's that good of an actress. I think she's very wooden. I think she's very... I thought the same way in the Fright Night remake, and I do in this. I don't care for her. I think in this, again, she was very mundane and very... I get later on they're supposed to be very tired, and they've been wounded, and there's getting a bit of blood loss. I get why they'd be tired and stuff, but I felt that way with her performance for the entire time. I see, maybe that's the thing, is that I don't really care what happens. So then I wasn't really feeling intense or anything of the sort with the situation. And because it's trying to play off realistically, in a weird way at times it feels like not a whole lot's happening. Like if I ever give a spoiler, super spoilers on the film, that they held in the green room. There's a guy in there. They have a talk with the people on the other side of the door. Come to the conclusion, okay, give us the gun, but you keep the bullets, blah, blah, blah. One of the pub band members puts the bigger guy in like a chokehold. There's more talking, more trying to converse. Skinheads are trying to figure out what to do and how to fix the situation, and we'll kill them and we'll make it seem as if they broke in, or they were trespassing. So did like a trespassing type of sign. We're gonna try to get them out here. Maybe the dog attacks them and kills them. And I just see that it's trying to be a bit of a smarter script. Anton Yelchin's arm gets cut up. Of course, he's reacted like anyone would, freaked out. The big guy gets choked out by one of the members. They got to figure out what to do. They go out there, but immediately they split up because they get scared. One goes out the window, is immediately stabbed. One gets killed by a dog. At one point, they arm themselves, but immediately they go out. They get overwhelmed and wounded, and one of them gets killed by another dog. Well, the same dog. They go back. And then finally, they start to figure out they need to think things through as well. They can't do it just by instinct. They have to think like they do. So they come up with a plan where when these two bad guys come in, our two, Imogen and Anton, they split up. One's a distraction. The other comes up, cuts the guy in the neck. And Imogen Poots does most of it. It's pretty much Anton Yelchin's distraction. And when he's grabbing the guy's shotgun, she comes up, shoots the guy in the head. The one guy, who I believe is Patrick Stewart's, the character's son, he kind of gives up. Our two main characters go up and find Patrick Stewart and some of those guys. There's a standoff. Our two eliminate them. The guys sit down because they're tired. The dog comes up, but there's no fight left in it. Goes up to his dead master, sits beside it. Then you kind of sit there like waiting for cops to arrive. The end. It's just when I don't care about the characters and the villains I didn't really find frightening, and the story felt just bland to me, and it just wasn't for me. And again, I hate saying this because it's going to sound stupid, but at the same time, that's kind of the case for it. In this case, trying to make it more realistic kind of made it less interesting. Maybe because in this type of story, I just prefer more escapism, like Judgment Night or even Assault on Precinct 13. Just you look at like the way Napoleon, and Austin Stoker, the way they interact with each other. That was because John Carver wanted to do a tip to the old westerns, but in this modern setting. Like I said, as I was watching, I'm going, okay, I know. Other than appreciating the look of the film, appreciating what it's trying to do with the script in terms of try not to have the characters being so insanely dumb that you hate them, and that when the violence erupts is brutal, but it just never gelled with me. I know it's not much of a review, but I don't know how else to word it. I don't know how else to word it. I don't know how else to say it. I don't quite know why. I guess, there's just some films that kind of just left me empty, and this is the second time seeing it, so it's not like I knew it came back to me what was going to happen. And no, I don't think it's a bad film. It's just a film that just isn't for me. So I know it's not much of a review, but I don't even know how else to say it. Again, I know it's a much beloved film. That's cool. People absolutely adore it. It's an A24 film, which I didn't realize that until I watch it again. I'm like, oh god, it's A24. And honestly, what it made me want to do is rewatch Judgment Night. That's really what it made me want to do. I think the DVD's over there. I want to go watch Judgment Night again. Just another victim, kid. I guess that's the best way to put it. And in this type of story, I'm more of a Judgment Night guy than a Green Room guy. Despite the fact this has definitely more gore. Yeah, again, sorry, Jay. I know the video sucks. I apologize. I just don't really know how else to word it. So, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye bye.